We are currently evaluating which players might be released in the latest Cowboys roster report. After signing the undrafted free agents, the team will have 95 players, 5 more than the allowed limit of 90. I believe draft picks are also included in this total, even if they haven't signed contracts yet. While the official limit is 90 players, for the Cowboys, it's technically 91 due to their extra spot granted through the International Player Pathway Program. Regardless, they'll need to make some cuts, as it's not feasible to keep everyone. On the roster, someone will have to go. In this analysis, I'll highlight 4 players who are under the spotlight and likely to be cut, along with 10 others currently at the bottom of the roster whose release wouldn't surprise anyone. We'll soon dive into unexpected cuts, draft winners and losers, and potential free agent targets. There's plenty of content ahead, so stay tuned. The first player we'll discuss is potentially on the trade block, which likely explains the lack of recent movement. His cap hit is $1.18 million, and cutting him would save the team about $1.1 million. However, it's important to note that this savings includes the cost of replacing him with a minimum salary player at around $1.03 million, which means the net benefit is minimal when you look at the bigger picture. Let's talk about another player who represents the last remaining link to a previous trade. A newly drafted 6th rounder has joined the team, and the Cowboys already have a surplus of offensive linemen, a topic we'll cover later, making that player a clear candidate for release. The next player carries a cap hit of $3,407 million, and cutting him would save $3,401 million. That's a significant chunk of money. Last year, this player lost ground, and when we examine draft winners and losers, he'll be among the losers. The Cowboys bolstered their linebacker group this offseason, which could create some trade buzz. In the 2023 draft, there were plenty of tackles available, but his numbers showed deficiencies in sacks, tackles for loss, and pass breakups, signs of limited impact. Additionally, one player is said to miss time, and others are primarily special teams contributors. If the choice is between the 5th best special teamer at linebacker who costs $3 million and one who costs $1 million, the decision seems obvious. This raises a question about this player's role on the Cowboys roster this season. What do you think? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Moving forward, we'll talk about a group of players with cap hits of around $1.033 million, all with non-guaranteed deals. I'm curious to see how the new coaching staff plans to use one player, in particular given the recent changes. He struggled last season, especially on defense and special teams. Though he was once a high draft pick, time is running out, especially if the team can maintain a relatively healthy cornerback room. It's unlikely that any key player will be cut right now, especially considering the lack of a true number 2 wide receiver. Another player reappears on the potential cut list. Not expected to be released immediately, but he may have to fight for a spot. It's worth spotlighting a few notable names. One player has 18 receptions in 21 games, along with blocking skills and special teams value. I believe he has a solid chance of sticking as the 4th or 5th wideout, and I'll consider another as we go on. As for the lesser-known names, many have minimal financial guarantees, meaning their release would be low cost. They were previously considered in the 8th tier of the depth chart, and now the question is whether they'll make the top 9 or get released. Bottom roster changes are intriguing, and I hope to see some soon. Before diving into those names, it's worth noting that a new line of NFL draft apparel is now available on a specific website. Check the comments and video description for the link. This includes draft hats, hoodies, and the featured rookies. Jersey. Let's start looking at some wide receivers. One player was on the roster last season, and the team added 2 undrafted free agents. These back-end roster battles will hinge on preseason performance. Depth matters. Top players likely won't play much, and others may get limited chances. One receiver might get a few looks, but that still leaves a crowded room. Is it really necessary to keep them all? I think 1 or 2 could be cut, including a prospect from a well-known university with a similar profile to another draftee already mentioned. I also want to spotlight another player, and I'm curious about the coordinator's opinion. One wideout from a less stacked position group might end up released. The big school prospect fits a similar mold. Another name mentioned has my attention. I think he's the least likely wideout to be cut, as the coordinator may want a true slot option. I'm also eager to see what happens with another player. On the bubble, now it's your turn. Mention a player you would cut. We're sure to hear some familiar names, and that's okay. Leave your opinion in the comments section. A few years ago, one of the most expensive undrafted signees had health issues and never made much of an impact. The team currently has a huge offensive line group, a starting five, a full second unit, a third unit, and even more extras. They probably won't cut the players we've already talked about. Recently, they added a few new bodies, drafted another, and signed one in free agency. That influx puts pressure on players who've seen occasional action over their careers. Still, with so many additions, not everyone can stay. So I'm wondering if one particular player is most likely to be cut. Another player from a well-known school has had few opportunities so far, especially now that the team added both a draftee and a free agent. I suspect one specific player will get plenty of snaps in preseason, since the room is crowded and some won't see much playing time. They might need versatile depth, players who can work inside and out. Still, the Cowboys seem to have a clear, long-term outlook at this position, at least for this season. And just for fun, rate the roster. Just like in the video games, I want you to give the Cowboys roster a score from 1 to 99. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Earth, with his rare inside-outside versatility, is an intriguing asset, but the Cowboys have already mapped out their long-term edge plans, at least for this season. To keep this fun and interactive, as if we were playing Madden, give your roster. Rating down below. Brock Minson, with a name tailor-made for a linebacker, was an undrafted free agent last year. But as we've seen, there are a lot of linebackers on this roster. I'm not sure they really need 10 of them, especially with Overshown out early in camp and preseason. It feels excessive. Now let's shift to the cornerback position. It's unlikely they cut a safety, but Luke Parku, who had a stint in the NFL with Pittsburgh, is in an interesting spot. The Cowboys may need to release someone before camp, or they could wait and handle it once players return from the PUP list. Either way, the cornerback room looks deep. Bruce Harmon wasn't a pressing need. Kamen Hall flashed late on the practice squad and had good preseason moments. Josh Butler is dealing with injuries, and Goodwin will likely be out. But players like Izzy Moham, Elam, and Carson should get plenty of reps in the preseason, helping their stock rise. Troy Pride Jr. also got snaps last year. I can see a situation where they cut a corner for a month, only to bring him back right before camp begins, especially with moves to and from the PUP list. I'm genuinely curious how this will all play. Ow, but the numbers clearly don't favor the Cowboys right now. Cuts are inevitable. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates. On the Dallas Cowboys, feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Demarcus Lawrence, the star defensive end who spent the majority of his NFL career with the Dallas Cowboys, recently opened up about a decision he now deeply regrets. In an emotional interview, Lawrence confessed that leaving the Cowboys was a move he wishes he could undo, expressing a longing for the camaraderie and success he enjoyed during his time in Dallas. Lawrence, who was drafted by the Cowboys in the second round of the 2014 NFL Draft, quickly became one of the most dominant forces on their defense. Over the years, he established himself as a leader both on and off the field, making a name for himself with his relentless pass rushing ability and his tough mentality. He helped anchor a defense that was consistently competitive and made numerous playoff appearances during his tenure. However, as the years passed, Lawrence found himself embroiled in contract disputes and frustration with the team's direction, especially after a few seasons of underachievement. The relationship between player and team began to sour, culminating in his departure from the Cowboys. He ultimately signed with another team, believing it was the right move for his career and future. Yet, as time went on, Lawrence's perspective changed. Reflecting on his decision to leave, Lawrence admitted that the sense of loyalty he once felt for the Cowboys organization had faded. But with time, it returned in full force. I miss my brothers. I miss playing in that stadium. I miss the fans, Lawrence shared. Dallas was a place where I felt like I truly belonged. I was at my best there. The regret Lawrence feels is compounded by the Cowboys' resurgence in recent years. with the team making a deep playoff run and appearing to be on the verge of serious contention for a Super Bowl, while Lawrence has continued to perform well. For his new team, the success of the Cowboys without him has only served to remind him of what could have been. Seeing him out there competing for championships, it makes me wish I'd stayed and tried to be a part of that. The defensive end's remorse also highlights the emotional complexities of the NFL, where business decisions and team changes can sometimes overshadow the deep connections players have with their former teams and teammates. In a sport where loyalty is often tested by financial incentives and career aspirations, Lawrence's words serve as a reminder of the human side of the game. As he continues his career with his new team, Demarcus Lawrence has found peace with his decision, but hasn't shaken the feeling of what he left behind. His story is a testament to the importance of team chemistry and the unique bonds that form in the NFL. Bonds that, in some cases, players can regret walking away from. While Lawrence may have moved on physically, his heart remains with the Cowboys, where it all started. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.